With WWDC set to take place in just a few short days, we outlined everything that you can expect to see at the event in a video that we put out yesterday. So be sure to click the card in the upper right corner in order to check out that video. But for those who are wondering how to watch the keynote on Monday, June 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific, you can do so by going to Apple's website, going to the Apple Developer app, or you can even go to Apple's YouTube channel to follow the event live. Apple also recently folded its own Apple Events app on tvOS, and now all Apple events can just be accessed directly inside of the TV app. This allows those who have a compatible smart TV to be able to watch the event directly inside the TV app, and not just those who have an Apple TV. Moving on to iPhone news, a few images surfaced on Twitter over the last week, allegedly featuring iPhone 12 in 12 Pro molds, offering a look at what may be in the works for the 2020 iPhone lineup. The molds are similar to those that we usually see in the lead up to the announcement of new iPhones. These physical molds are often based on leaked schematics and are produced by third-party case manufacturers to develop cases for upcoming devices. The design depicted in these images is consistent with the rumors that we've heard so far from the supply chain regarding Apple's upcoming iPhone models, with iPad Pro style flat edges that are a significant design departure from current models. The notch does not appear to be any smaller in these molds, but this may be because the case makers would probably not need to have an accurate replica of that specific area. However, a couple of days ago we had a few new reports that might suggest the notch might not change at all in size, and the triple lens camera system on the back will remain the same except for the larger 6.7-inch iPhone 12 Pro Max, which might get the LiDAR 3D camera in addition to the 3 existing ones. One thing that has remained the same is the design with the iPad Pro style flat edges that we've talked about, but only time will tell about the smaller notch and or a LiDAR camera for other models. We also heard this week that Apple is potentially working on a foldable iPhone prototype, but instead of folding glass a la something like the Samsung Galaxy Fold, where it's one piece of glass that can actually fold, this could feature 2 foldable panels that are connected by a hinge. John Rettinger had John Prosser on his YouTube channel, who put out all of this information in a tweet earlier on this week, and if you want to see that full video, I'll leave that linked in the upper right corner. But basically, what they talked about was that the foldable iPhone could have separate displays, no notch, but rather a tiny forehead on the outer display that houses Face ID. Prosser believes that Apple's version is similar to what we saw when Microsoft announced the Surface Neo and the Surface Duo, both of which are foldable dual display devices that feature 2 displays connected with a hinge. There's no word on when Apple might be developing this foldable iPhone, but there have been rumors about work on such a device dating back to 2016, as well as a number of other patents. In fact, in March 2020, there was a patent described as a device that features 2 separate displays that could be brought together to create a single bendable device with a hinge. So it's possible that this is what Apple has been working on. Moving on to some quick, interesting news that we saw this week, and a good time to transition into products that actually do exist. You can now get a 16-inch MacBook Pro with a newer high-end graphics card, the Radeon Pro 5600M to be specific, for an additional $700 at checkout. And for those who are picking up a new Mac and happen to be heading back to school in the fall, Apple has launched its annual back-to-school promotion, but instead of a pair of Beats like we've seen in previous years, you can now get a free set of AirPods, the 2nd generation, with of course your purchase of any eligible Mac or iPad. For those who want the wireless charging case for the 2nd gen AirPods, you'll need to pay up an additional $40, or for those who just want to get the AirPods Pro, instead of spending $250, you'll actually only have to spend $90. And conveniently, Apple has finally allowed customers to exchange a Mac for credit that can be put on a gift card or used to cut the cost down of a new Mac. Previous trade-ins were only limited to iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. And finally, if you want some good content to watch over the weekend, the Slow Mo guys showed how much water is actually ejected from an Apple Watch and how that all works. And of course, it's in slow motion, so you can check that out on their YouTube channel. And Apple has released the new documentary Dads ahead of Father's Day, as well as making its movie The Banker available to stream for free. And that's it. This has been our top headlines and stories of the last week. And of course, would love to know what your thoughts on all of the stories that we talked about. Maybe there's something that we missed and you think is interesting. Go ahead and leave all of that commented in the comment section down below. This has been Dan with Mac Rumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.